It's Friday night football. Welcome everybody to Etihad Stadium, and tonight it's Carlton against the West Coast Eagles. Two clubs coming off bad losses last week, and Lee Matthews, I guess it's fair to say, the loser tonight will have to lower their expectations.
Yeah, well, only one win apart, but at 3 wins, the Eagles have to win to really stay in touch. Carlton are 4 wins, but they've just lost 3 of their last 4. Last week was the real bad one when they really went down to the Crows. Obviously lost Jared Waite. Chris Judd and Favola's had a bad few weeks. He needs to pick up. Brad Fisher back is a potential goal kicker in that part of the game. So is Ryan Houlihan. But I think Judd and Favola, they're the 2 players that Carlton need to play well. 5
changes at the West Coast Eagles. Could be argued they're recycling similar players week in, week out, although 18-year-old Tom Swift makes his debut.
Mark Lacroix, he's a very good in, kicked 20 goals. He's been their main strike forward, really, a medium sizer, but he's really dangerous in there. They really need Cox, I think, and of course Kerr. They're their 2 real weapons around the middle of the ground. They need to really play well to just give them that class edge.
Tails is the call, and we've got a head.
So Chris Judd and Adam Hunter, and Sebastian Clark was the young fellow who tossed the coin. That's Ron Clark, the great Ron Clark's grandson, and his father is a director here of the Carlton Footy Club. As we go down to Tim.
Yes, well, one man the Eagles need to stand up tonight is Daniel Kerr. He's their #1 midfielder. Last week, even though he got plenty of the ball, he was down on his efficiency rate. He was down around the 60%, so he wasn't as clean by hand and by foot as what he normally is. At his best, he can roof the ball from the stoppages. We've seen him do that so many times, and then he can get into some really clear space and break the lines. We can see the players already exercising a little bit of strength there, not too much in that. But it means probably we're in for a very interesting start as we see one of the players already tumble over. Back to you, Bruce.
West Coast free, waiting for the light.
So West Coast free, waiting for the light, we're told. An explosive start. Murphy, one of those #1 draft picks.
He's trying to suck him in. He copped I didn't see it, but he's obviously copped one in the breadbasket, and he's fairly badly winded. But, not a great way to start a match.
Nikoski gets the football and drives it inside the forward 50. Judd was up, spilt it. Embley knocks it goalward. Stevens falls on top of it. Immediately claimed.
Go, let it go.
You suspect it's very early on. It was a... See what happened early, pushing Chubb.
Well... bounce about 25 metres out. What do you say? Gibbs.
Kerr
Simpson.
Murphy, didn't he?
I think what you can say is that both of these teams weren't prepared to take a back step. It looked like to me like the Eagles were the instigators of that. They want to make a stand early in this match.
Bauer to the opposite pocket. Stevens is running. Kicks it outside the defensive 50. Well done by Leach. Came to meet it. Ricochets though back to Stevens. Bad luck for the Eagles. Floats one towards the wing, and Cox over the top of Cruiser. Plays on to Hearn, who can kick it a long way.
And kicks it beautifully to Embley inside the 50.
Nick, just 1.5 metre in front of you.
So let's have another look. So Thornton
Same side
against Rosa.
And that's where the free kick was paid. And this was after just a little bit behind the umpire.
in the no-go zone.
So Embley has already been an explosive start. This would be a terrific start for the Eagles, but he's missed it badly. It's a poor kick, and it's been a problem for them, their efficiency with kicking.
You talk about the explosive start. You did speak to John Worsfold, said that you mentioned skills and he mentioned effort. You know, he wanted to see a better effort and competitiveness from his team. I've no doubt that that would have been the focus in the rooms, and it's definitely the focus of them in this first couple of minutes.
Lynch also starting their forward 50, so they've gone with a bit of height up forward, which he suggested. And maybe the tag team was tag team wrestling that he talked about.
You got to love it. Murphy fumbling, pushed in the back, will get the free kick.
Let him up.
The umpires tonight, Vozzo, Roseberry and Avon, had their hands full so far. Here's Judd in the action. Kicks beyond the wing, misses the target, out of bounds on the full.
Eddie, hold it there. Wait for the call.
Brendan Favola's lined up out of the goal square. Darren Glass is his opponent, trying to run off him at the moment, but a traditional setup for Carlton.
Cross half back, Ebert slips over, which actually helped him. A little 1-2. Marston feeds it back towards the pocket. McKenzie, who started that, goes to the outer side. Selwood missed it. Murphy didn't. Runs down towards half forward. Goes to Stevens. Sweeps it inside. Chance for Fisher. Lines up. He's back and back in style.
A very poor skill error, wasn't it? As soon as you turn the ball over in that part of the ground, all your defensive players are basically unpositioned. As soon as this fumble from Selwood, and then all of a sudden, then it's a question, can they maintain possession? And Fisher would be very glad to get that first shot at goal and to be able to nail it. That'll be good for his confidence just coming back into the team.
Took him a lot quicker to get a goal this week than last week. Into the third quarter last week.
Yeah, that was that's definitely a better start. Glass on Favola there out of the goal square, and Brown on Fisher is an undersized centre half forward, but he's a good mark.
Kicked 39 goals, Fisher, a couple of seasons back, 22 last year, so he's been a consistent goal scorer for the Blues. Speaking of consistent goal scorers, Lynch has done that as well. And now with a little one to himself, and then a long bomb to Hunter. Ebert, good tackle, Stevens, ripped it away, and then Jamison squares, too far for Gibbs, but he's got a bit of time here.
Advantage, advantage, advantage!
Here the umpire, Gibbs, Simpson, Eddie Betts, one out in the forward 50 is for Bowler, clears he and Glass. Glass is first back. Heard a voice from Nikoski, missed the target, in comes Kerr. Whoa, down goes Lynch. Spinning into trouble there, Nikoski. Lynch, clever, kept his head. Embley right half back, close to a man coming at him. Simpson has to loft the kick as a result. Gives plenty of players a chance to get there. Now Stevens got it from Armfield. Robinson, Bauer. Favola wants it again. He bypasses him this time. Makes it very awkward for Fisher going back. Brown leads back in the race. He's got support. Hearn is behind him. Not sure what Brown was thinking. Throw it in, says the umpire. Throw it in.
He was thinking he was under pressure, and he was actually didn't want to concede the free from a point.
This contact here from Fev, that was about his third effort. He got on the lead, got pushed under, but his effort to get back to tackle Glass initially and then to lay that body was fantastic.
Murphy's kick, Judd's going to mark it.
How does a bloke like that get so free?
Such a great history with the Eagles. A couple of best and fairest, the Brownlow, the premiership, the captain, the goal now for Carlton. So the Blues get the flying start.
Yes, the nil goals in the first half last week is now just a distant memory. They've got the scoreboard ticking over really quickly tonight. A couple of turnovers, a couple of lucky kicks, but all of a sudden the Eagles are under pressure. David Ruapunda is up forward for the Eagles at the moment. I always think they often play the best footy if he can float back in defence, and in fact I don't know whether he's actually headed back to that part of the ground just at the moment.
See, just there in the foreground, Stingline just got lost in that clearance.
His first goal against his old club, 19 possessions last week. I thought he looked very flat, and if we rule out dandruff, credit Michael Doughty. The old benefit of the Doughty. He's laughing as well. Everyone's happy. Back in the middle. 12 points the difference. Knocked down by Cox. Murphy has taken no ill effect. Simpson to Judd. He's not getting it sweetly at the moment. Down towards half forward. Fisher. Houlihan runs inside the 50. Bacon square. Heads for home. Summed it up beautifully.
It's no surprise that when you get your hands on the ball in clearance situations that you can actually go forward quickly and be dangerous. Judd here 10 metres clear of Stingline out of that centre clearance. The kick didn't really matter because it was down there one-on-one with a bit of time and space. Fisher did well again getting in front of his man, and Houlihan, great finish there. I think that is a distant memory. Lee there, bang, bang, bang.
plenty of worries. Rats is going to be laughing where he was a minute ago. Houlihan's an in, Fisher's an in.
Yeah, and that's what Houlihan can do. He's a good finisher if he gets a chance outside near the 50-metre line.
Well,
Daniel Kerr, free kick.
Bring it back, guys. Daniel Kerr, kick. Daniel Kerr, back behind the mark, guys.
Joseph with the roll on Daniel Kerr. We saw him out here in the NAB Cup.
Daniel, behind the head, Daniel.
He's against Ablett and did a very good job there. Showed some toe. Has had some pretty big stopping rolls. He's got one tonight.
had McLeod last week.
Yes.
Hands in the back. You pushed him under the contest.
In fact,
Hands in the back.
so free kick to the Eagles here. To Kennedy.
He was standing the mark. That's how definite he was that he was going to get that kick.
As he was leaping, the hands went in the back.
So Thornton can't believe it. Kennedy, of course, involved with the
Hey, watch it, guys. Come on.
Yeah, it's a push. Yeah.
with the Judd trade. At one stage, Kennedy looked like being the part of the future of the Blues, didn't he? The high draft pick. So he gets the first goal, and they needed it for the Eagles.
When Carlton played West Coast for the first time against each other last year, when it was all built up as the Judd return over in Perth, Kennedy was playing against Carlton for the first time, and actually I reckon it was the first time that he really stamped himself on a game, and he's looked pretty good this year. He's running well, he's leading, he's leaping, he's getting on the scoreboard every now and then, but his work rate as a big tall forward is pretty impressive.
Austin wide. O'Halpin back in the team. Blues, like West Coast, have made a lot of changes tonight.
Cruiser.
Very hard.
So Joseph, who missed the first one, goes to Gibbs.
On there.
Gibbs wide. Now Robinson's just come off interchange. Can attack the goal front, and that's a waste.
Youthful exuberance. He saw a couple of yards. I think he knew what he was going to do before the ball was anywhere near him. On its way, he thought, I'll take a couple of steps here and have a shot at goal. Just didn't come off.
But the Eagles had the players back. Really, a long shot from 50 was about the only thing that was probably going to eventuate for Carlton in that play.
Ebert. Now McKenzie. McNamara has to wait. Betts behind. There's going to be a free kick to the Eagles.
That's
Robinson
interesting.
taking the body.
It was a legitimate spoiling attempt. The contact was all with the body, but he deemed it a push in the back. The only thing I could think of, it wasn't a realistic spoiling attempt, but I wouldn't think so.
Whoa! Kerr cops one after Selwood gave it to him, and then Joseph gave it to him again.
Young player, Joseph, but he's prepared to take it to Kerr. I think the identification is you take it to a Kerr, and you're never quite sure he will blow up.
Selwood. It's a win-win. Either way, you're okay. Lynch over the footy, arm field, tackled by Rosa, and we'll have the ball up, is it, at the interchange gates?
It's about now Daniel Kerr. Wish he was playing 30 years ago, I reckon.
What would he do, Lee?
He might take it into his own hands, that tagging pressure.
Well, the voice of experience. Selwood under pressure, scrambles it towards half forward. Bauer goes back, takes the mark. Murphy, been splendid, put down before the opening bounce, as was a West Coast Eagle. I'm trying to think who was it. Selwood. The hand pass comes from Kerr. Run down is Swift. Was he pushed in the back? Ball jarred out. Holding the ball is the call.
Play on yours.
Joseph Stevens, who was very good against Adelaide, particularly after half-time. Armfield on the burst. Now he's got Russell running. Russell looks up. Favola's about 30 metres away from goal, goes short. So Hampson, good kick. Well, just too tall. I thought Cruiser was going to get there. Rosa, and then McKenzie. Here's his Cox. Untidy handball to Selwood. Good running by Brown. That was good stuff. And then Rosa gets away from Hampson. Uses the run of Embley. Eagles stream out of the fence. Short to Selwood. back inboard. Brown loads up. Heard the umpy, won't be a mark. Bauer's got to get rid of it. Well, he does cleverly in the end, and Judd will arch the back, and now Armfield. That's a bit of synergy, Judd and Armfield together.
Comes across the ground. Robinson's got the run of it. They've got themselves a convoy here. Stevens cruising past. Stevens 60 metres out for Bowler. Can he reach it? No. And the ball goes out of bounds. Crowd wanting in the back, so is Fev. It'll be thrown in.
Well, that spoil wasn't much different to Mitch Robinson, but we see Kerr getting the handball out there and Joseph overlapping for a great tackle. One of the natural instincts when you're getting body pressure as a runner is to stop running. With the pressure of Joseph, the body pressure that Kerr is getting, he's got to stay on the move, get a few blocks from his teammates and find some space. He's not going to do it if he just sits tight and stops running.
Daniel Kerr back on the ground now. Up goes Cruiser, knocked it down. Hand pass comes out from Houlihan, bits. And it bounces out of bounds in the pocket. Interesting that when Chris Judd first went to Western Australia, he lived with the Kerr family. And he and Daniel certainly best mates, although you wouldn't have thought it back in the centre about 10 minutes ago.
That's for sure. They did have a little laugh, didn't they?
They did.
Simpson to Houlihan. Houlihan gets a bit on it to fall forward. It's going to roll, but not straight. Carlton fans want a free kick for holding on.
Well, this is going to be a game that Fev just needs to grind out. He's not going to get any easy touches. He's worked really hard in defence, and he's going to need to do it for 4 quarters to maintain his influence.
McKenzie was the man at the back, then Robinson. Couldn't quite get it to Betts, and then Brown got rid of him. Hot footy in there. Glass, Brown, safety of the line. Rosa happy to let it roll.
He does reflect his inner emotions by the look of it, Fev. Already things haven't gone well. Glass has got him a couple of times, and you can see those sort of mental demons to keep composed, don't get discouraged, don't lose hope.
Hampson up very high, knocks it towards the pocket. Hope springs a turn, or Fev gets the goal.
About now that thing, you can't go and buy confidence, you can't turn on with a tap, but it can come and go in a second. And all of a sudden he gets a half opportunity, he kicks the goal. All of a sudden he's feeling good about himself.
He is, and he wore his emotions on his sleeve then. And that wasn't an easy goal. Things aren't going to come easy for him, and he's that type of player. He can take an opportunity from a half chance. Great goal, well manufactured. He'll be feeling good about himself.
Clever kick, great result. So back to that 18-point margin they had very early on. Cox, his eyes on Cruiser, but he timed it better. Slowly to Selwood, but they did well. Then to Hunter from 50, a low kick, not going to get there. Well done in the front there. Lacroix, still with Lacroix. Terrific by Bauer. And now Stevens, a wayward handball. Cruiser very good. Thornton back to Stevens. Little one over the top. Cruiser's good, isn't he? Plays it as a ruck in a rover. Simpson, Robinson, here's Cruiser again. Half volley. Top the tackle of Kerr. Good stuff from both of them. And then Kerr's in there hard.
I think Cruiser picked the wrong man.
He is like an extra midfielder, but this bit of play here by Bauer, just a great ability, Lacroix at the front, but the ability to pressure without giving the free kick away, and then eventually lay the tackle. Great play.
Cox backhands it down. Stenglein couldn't control it. Interesting by Brown. Down goes Joseph. On his knees, Nikoski. He's going on his knees down there. Cox does well. Selwood, bit too slick for Rosa, held up. Recoils back into the pack. Judd took him down. Nikoski kicks inside the forward 50, well almost. Tracking it back, Selwood. Kicks into Lacroix, taken by Jamison. Tries to feed it across to Cruiser. On his knees, Selwood. Gave it to Marston. Almost shins it down towards full forward. Hasn't been touched, not yet. Bauer. Well, we're turning our players into good actors. Well, bad actors, but we're turning them into thespians.
That was legitimate, I thought. Maybe not. He had to throw it around the point post to keep it in, and he wasn't going to do that.
So the Blues slowed down for the minute.
This is a high-intensity game, Bruce. I think both teams showing the wear and tear of the intensity of the match already.
So Bowers kick, Embley able to get onto it. And Ebert missed the target. Marston involved, Simpson's handball okay to Brown, one of a number of Western Australians playing for the Blues. Wilpon got a good bounce. Wide kick to Hunter, who's looked lively, hasn't had a whole lot of the ball. Thornton to Judd, to Russell. They've kept their cool here, the Blues. Fisher, well done Wirpunda. Back to Fisher, got the opening goal. Hunter and also Thornton, and Thornton just paddles it over the line.
It's very early in the game, but I think you're starting to look at the Eagles and where their goal's going to come from. They just don't look like they've got enough players in there who just look like being able to manufacture goals from those half opportunities. Carlton just look a bit classy forward of centre.
Hampson knocks it in the wrong direction, but clear of the pack O'Halpin. In mid-air as he hand passes. Hard to get much traction there. Judd. Armfield back in the Judd direction. He's got it now. Got it from Hampson. Scrambles a kick about 10 metres. Now a chance for the Eagles. Nothing doing. Marston's hand pass knocked across the line by Thornton. In fact, it was Stengline, I think, who may have got the hand pass. Marston in there as well. Tossed in. Kerr. He's striving hard. Armfield with courage went after the football. Now he needs to be careful. Wrenched off him by McNamara, and we'll have a ball up.
Kerr then was on the move in the clearance. He's come off the contest a little bit, giving himself some time and space to move into the clearance and get away from Joseph, or at least be moving when the ball's in his area.
Hampson unopposed, and Stengline couldn't quite get to Lynch. And I think we'll have another one.
It's almost a rarity, that clearance. It's almost these days for the ruckman to hit it to the ground level player to actually clear the congestion is almost a rare event. There's so many bodies around. There's a lot of hands touch it before it's eventually cleared.
Cox just got the tap. Embley's been good. Little give, put Ebert under the pump. Couldn't quite get the kick away. Kerr looking for a high one.
He's the type of player that throws his body around. But also, when he wins the ball, he puts his head down and tries to burrow out. You don't generally get rewarded for the high tackles in that instance.
He's combative, isn't he? Lynch out of the air, and then on the left, Lacroix front spot, and Bauer all over him, and another boundary throw in.
It's going to be a good matchup for Lacroix, I think, Bowers, because he's got that height. Lacroix is not a tall man, but it's basically he's a marking player is what his great strength is.
Rucks go at it. Cox in front, brilliantly down to Lacroix, who snaps and kicks a goal.
And they're crumbing forward.
Textbook.
Every time you mention someone before 50, they kick a goal. Fifth, Lacroix.
Yeah, but I mean, that was Bauer. See if Bauer's got the height. See if he can stay with him. But see, Lacroix just gets that yard gap. The ball falls, and he just wasn't able to maintain the body control as a defender.
Jamison was actually on him for that clearance. Bauer was on McKinley in the goal square.
Yeah, so they swapped. Yeah.
Jamison, not a great clearance player, probably better one-on-one, but on that time he was exposed.
Well, after that goal, the West Coast Eagles players went at Joseph. He's got the job on Kerr, and he's done a reasonable job. He's restricted him around the ground, but Kerr still had a lot of handball, a lot of influence around the stoppages, and that's where they can get the ball moving. He's exceptionally good inside those contests.
Thanks, Tim. So free kick against Stengline for a throw.
Yeah, just here, mate. Thanks, Kate.
It's been a fascinating opening term, an explosive quarter of footy. And the Eagles, I reckon, would take this score right now. And they might not be taking it because Houlihan is a good kick, and he's taken what was too easy a mark in the end.
Well, that's Ruapunda's deficiency as a defender, that sometimes just purely when the ball is kicked to his direct opponent, he's not a great defensive spoil when the ball's in the air. And Houlihan's a dangerous goal kicker. While he can be a good rebounder, Ruapunda, Houlihan is going to be a good matchup for him.
Looks to me like he has the role on Ruapunda. They've played down, back and up forward, and it looks like he's been with him everywhere. When Ruapunda's a defender, well, you go and play him as a forward. If he goes forward, you're playing on him as a defender.
Back in the team tonight, played the first half a dozen games. Looked to be in reasonable nick too. And he's in good nick tonight because he's kicked 2 goals in the opening term.
Yes, because Ruapuna tends to like to read the ball. He likes to just read the ball coming in, and Houlihan knows how to get on the end of it. So that is probably why Houlihan is
Good match.
Carlton are trying to match him up with Ruapuna to try and use that little bit of space that Ruapuna is likely to give him.
She was a costly throw from Stenglein, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That hurt because they've done well to get back within a couple of goals, I reckon.
And with little spot fires multiplying like TV chefs, Carlton lead it by 17 points. A lot of feeling in the game. Off the ball, things happening. Late in this opening term, Austin saw a man coming in just as well. That was Embley. There's Kerr again. Down he goes. Had it a while. Spills wide. Little feed comes across from Marston. Taken by Lynch. And the big guy lines up. Long down towards full forward. Some holding on Hunter.
Adam Hunter! Adam Hunter! Good shoot, holding his arm. Adam!
So they trade goals in the last 30 seconds.
Very lucky that Hunter got this free kick because Lynch had to give it to, who was it, Rosa, I think, that was coming through, and you really got to give the ball when your teammates in space that part.
Hunter point blank range puts it through. Last laugh to the Eagles.
And this is the kick coming in. Right? The Hunter Bowers just got a hold of his arm there. It's a bit 50-50 as well, but to the letter of the law, it was there. West Coast would enjoy that goal. It keeps them in touch at quarter time.
In touch means 11 points. Carlton got their second last goal. West Coast coming back very quickly. Free kick to Hunter. 5-2, 3-3. Exciting start to Friday night football. Bounce favours Cox, down to Kerr. Tackled by Joseph. They continue.
I'll back Joseph for about 12 tackles.
Ruapuna gives it across to Hearn. Launches one. Look at that kick. Goes deep into attack. Off hands. Hunter went down. Spills across to Lynch. He snaps and misses. Ooh. Golden opportunity. Not a bad spot for a right footer.
Yep.
So pivotal duels in Joseph and Kerr. There's no finesse about Lynch. He's full of the gate, isn't he? Always. He kicks the ball flat out. And he has to snap there, just blazing a bit. Oh, Robinson's big fly. No mark this time. And brought down. Good tackle. I think he's in trouble now.
Didn't have a prior opportunity.
Talking about Quinton Lynch, I think he's predictable to his teammates, but also to his opposition. He generally goes long. Should have given the handball there just before quarter time.
Held to him again, no prior.
And his teammate Dean Cox actually turned around and let him know that he should have looked for Matty Rosen on that occasion, but there's not a lot of subtlety in his play.
Cox winning the tap. Kerr getting the clearance. Now to Ebert.
Run down by Joseph. Did well. Went from Kerr onto Ebert. Little 1-2 between a couple of the number ones. Cruiser and Gibbs. Squares the ball. Bauer gathers it on the bounce, comes to Simpson. He's a left footer. Well, Hearn should have been a little more aware. Overworked the mark. Kick inside the forward 50. Getting a hand to it, Fev. And he's getting the free kick. Well, he's kicked one goal this evening so far, but it was a snapshot.
Glass is looking at the replay board to see what exactly happened there.
In recent weeks, he's been anything but gun barrel straight. Arguably, the best kick at goal in the last decade was suddenly watching the AFL with a case of gun barrel envy. There he is. He'll kick from about 35. If he kicks it, trouble for the Eagles. He misses again. He misses again. 11 points the margin.
Just stick with it. His intensity's up. It'll come. It's not going to be an easy night by the looks, but he's creating opportunities for himself.
Well, in recent times, Dennis, you're spot on. He's 2 goals, 8 over the last 3 and a bit matches from set shots, Viv. You wouldn't believe that. It's been so reliable. That hitting the post against Hawthorn hasn't done him any good at all, has it?
All downhill from there.
Lots of misses. So Wirpunda with a spiral, which is going to sit up in the air. It's a hard one for Hunter to get involved. Armfield took it off Judd, but gives it back to his captain. And then Judd's lovely kick to Favola. Glass, Betts, left foot. Brilliant. A Betts special.
Fantastic bit of play on the burst. Went to the crumb with one hand and then to finish at full pace on the left foot.
Read it extremely well, didn't he? Favola at least jumped at the ball from the front spot. Didn't quite time, didn't quite clunk it, but Betts was there, fall of the ball, good left footer.
He's keeping up with Fev too. He's only one behind him in the goal kickers this year. That matches his best ever at 25 goals.
Well, if I'm coaching an AFL team, not that there's any likelihood of that, but I'm telling my players the arms are back in fashion. You can take them as much as you like. Fev certainly should have got a free kick under the old interpretation. Matters not. Betts got the goal on the ground. Here's Cruiser. Comes out wide to Murphy. Terrific first term, terrific season so far. Runner-up in the best and fairest last year. That is a beautiful kick. And Favola's got it a little wider than last time. Great players learn their lessons quickly, but his kicking is tormenting him. He's at war with his right foot. Fev again. 17 points the difference. Across the face, didn't miss by much. Not a bad effort from there or behind.
It's a game of interesting. He's striking them all right. He just not quite getting them through. He's certainly making good contact, so that's at least a start with your goal kicking.
I wonder what's going on in his head. It's nearly like he's talking himself out of it before he kicks it, but it's nearly the polar opposite to what we've seen from him throughout his career.
So Kennedy into the man on the mark. Cox on the up to Kennedy. Had to get down low himself, and that's a terrible kick. So Kennedy, two kicks there, both of them wasted in the end. Austin, short one. Is that 50? No. So Thornton at centre wing. Back inside to Gibbs. And again squaring to Bauer. So the Blues lead it by 18 points. It's been a common margin for a fair bit of this match. And then Jamison's low kick wide to O'Halpin. Brown led him to it, well done, but O'Halpin able to just put a hand in there and force the ball over the line. What a season he's had, Satanta. Just his third game for the year. He started it, of course, ingloriously in that practice match. Kerr.
Off the hands of Lynch, but he's getting a free kick. He's right on the wing. 6-4 plays 3-4. Lynch down towards right half forward. Kennedy came strongly. Wonderful courage by Austin. Now, how will they call it? Thornton annoyed with Kennedy.
Let it go, Daniel.
Kennedy
50.
did no more
50.
than go at the football. Was courageous by the man coming back.
It was Austin, and he's been playing the role down the wing, the loose Carlton player down the wing in front of the leading forward. We saw them do it against Buddy Franklin when they had that fantastic battle at the MCG about 3 or 4 weeks ago. When it was Waite playing in front of Franklin on that occasion, it seems to be a tactic that's working for Carlton well.
So Kerr, who turned up late, has given away 50. Austin adds insult to injury, steps around Kerr, goes to Joseph, 55 metres out, doesn't time it. And the mark is taken in front by Brown, like his style, dashes away, hand passes towards the defensive 50. Rosa, the obligatory bounce, goes in short. Kennedy, moments ago on the other side of the ground, goes to Swift. Now he'll be first back. Well, that's a good mark. Jamison.
So West Coast paying the penalty for the second time in a minute. Swift's kick just didn't give Hunter much of a chance there. Jamison able to pin it off. Favola clever, and then keeps his head down low. Good tackle though, blasted well. Rosa coming out of the back half, kicks to centre wing. Hunter marks. Here's Swift. And again, a poor kick. LaCroix had very little chance. Hampson did well. Got it to Bauer, got it to Murphy, got it to Armfield. So this was West Coast's problem last week. They kicked the ball terribly going into their forward 50, and they've butchered a few in this quarter as well. Their efficiency is the worst in the competition, both with hand and foot. And they're not doing much to eradicate that tonight. Houlihan.
Fisher, very good aerialist. Off at his left side for Bowler. They meet at the football, loose at the back. Robinson arrives first. Oh, fumbles. Socket off the ground, Betts misses.
I think the problem often with the Eagles ball movement is they really just haven't got the run through the middle of the ground to be able to just link up and carry.
See, the third Eagles player, the second Eagles player in there was Shannon Hearn. Came off Robinson and nearly cost him a goal.
Selwood, that's Scott Selwood. Works with Ebert. Still Selwood, the look-away hand pass to Brown. Brown back to Selwood. Selwood runs towards midfield, takes something off the kick in too short. And this kid's impressive, Austin. Nice build, a lot of confidence across the ground. Stevens hasn't seen a lot of it, but when he gets the football, he's dangerous. Hampson, Bauer, comes out wide. Over the head of Fisher, it runs out of bounds.
So I think what we talked about before, though, Hearn, though, even if Robinson had kicked the goal, I think he did the right thing, because Favola really had glass, and your defenders, you have to prepare to leave your opponent to help your teammate.
And another West Coast defender left his man to go and tackle Robinson as well. So that's good team play.
So Ebert, after a good tap, getting it forward. It's a terrific article in the local paper in Adelaide today about the Eberts and the Obs. His mum Christine, her dad won a McGarry medal. So Ebert's uncle won 4 and his grandfather won 1. Judd brilliant to O'Halpin to full forward. Fev one out here. Yep.
He's getting really good early body position, isn't he?
And he's a good body player, Glass. 25 metres out, virtually straight in front. That's where we need to shot from.
And have a look at these quick hands here by Chris Judd. We just missed it, but Garlett came in from the half-forward flank and contested that ball. It flicked out to Judd, and then the long kick to the advantage of Brendan.
And this is 4 feet up the hill for Tiger, I reckon. Straight through. That'll help. Bottom line is that Betts and Favola are becoming a problem. They're two big goal kickers, aren't they?
He's got the ball. He's had his 4 or 5 shots. He's looking dangerous on Glass. I mean, he's a top-notch key defender, Glass, but Favola is getting the ball, and that's the first part of the equation.
Good kick there by Halpin. It really did put it to Favola's side of that contest, and I mean, you like just to think that you're not just going to bomb it, that you have a look and see things like that.
And this margin suddenly out to 25, Fev's number. And a number of problems he's got at the moment. At least one big one now, wearing number 25. He's on target, he's kicked a couple and looking very dangerous. Hampson out of the middle. Robinson, Judd. Where's Fev on the burst? Judd ignores that. Heads for home, doesn't time the kick. Well, his kicking in the last couple of weeks was most un-Judd-like.
Quick kick out of defence. Well done, Russell, to make a contest. Marston got it from Cox. McNamara. 2-2 for Kennedy. And then McKinley in, but Stevens, that's a beautiful kick to Gibbs, and Carlton can reload here. Bauer, O'Halpin, just uncertain, and then goes low to the pocket. Good grab by Hampson.
He actually played that very well. He shaped as if he was going to handball and run and carry through the middle of the field. His last 2 inside 50s kicks have been fantastic on this occasion. I reckon he saw Garlett going back with a flight there, but Hampson cut across and had worked Dean Cox over to get into that spot.
It's always in to make Cox get in defence. It discourages him from playing in the opposite forward 50.
He's an impressive unit, isn't he? Have a look at that for a big, strong ruckman of the future. And he sprayed it away. So it's a poor kick.
We saw an incident up the other end. I thought Josh Kennedy basically just ran under the footy and wasn't so much the ball went over his head. You just got to be prepared to stop. I just always thought if there's one mortal sin, it's just keeping running when the ball's going to go over your head. You've got to stop and hold your ground at least.
Interesting, Daniel Kerr has drifted out of the game in this term. Just the one kick, one hand pass. He's being sorely missed. Geez, good overhead, Fisher. That's the reason they bring him back.
When you've been kept in the twos for so long, you come back with a bit of hunger.
Here's Gibbs. Now, this distance, not totally beyond him. He'll kick from about 55, maybe a little further. Some slow movement down there. Goes looking for Brown, and Brown takes the mark. Too easy. Just outmaneuvered Marston. So the former West Perth player in the left full forward pocket. Handshakes all round. Low five. Now Brown. A chance to really hurt the Eagles. Not a really difficult kick for a right footer, and that's the reason why. Just bends it back, finds the middle. Alarm bells sounding for these West Coast Eagles now. It's out to 33 points.
Just a bit too much run through the middle of the ground, haven't at the moment, the Carlton team. Just a bit too much depth in their midfield comparatively to the Eagles. So this is really just a good use of the ball by Gibbs. Gave Brown probably a 60% chance. Yeah, poor defence by Marston. He really just completely misjudged it, but it was still a terrific setup kick by Bryce Gibbs.
Dennis spoke a moment ago about that goal really hurting the West Coast Eagles. What's really hurting them at the moment is their disposal off half-back. The last 5 times they've gone forward, they've actually missed their target and turned the ball over the West Coast Eagles.
They've had 9 of the last 10 inside 50s, the Blues, after that goal, and the last 8 scoring shots. So West Coast need to make a stand now.
And Carlton set up with Brown, Joseph and Murphy in that centre bounce as ground level players. They're not obviously not worried about having height in there for clearances.
So Lynch, Hampson at the back, and then Scott Selwood, little give.
On the ball, no clean disposal. Hand it over, Nate. It's a little thrower.
So Murphy's free. It's on the 360 to work out where to go. And Thornton, well, gets away from McCrae. Slow handball to Austin and back to Thornton. He wants Stevens, and that's a good kick. He is a good kick, Thornton. And Stevens at half back. Blues in control. Good kick and a lovely mark by Robinson.
Stevens starting to rack up the possessions too. Here's Robinson. Bauer.
Still a tag team. Mark Murphy comes off his tag as Selwood follows him. Judd comes on and Stengline comes back on.
Not yet.
Gibbs, forward of half back. Need to be a bit careful here. They don't need to change the momentum. The arms go up in the air. It's like walking in on a bank robbery. See it every week. The short one comes across to Austin. Why do they do it? No one's confused, not even me. Bauer. And they're getting themselves into trouble here. Just go for the jugular. Whoops. In trouble, Joseph. Penalised for holding the ball now.
No, high tackle.
Oh, gee whiz. So Joseph gets the free, pardon me. Very lucky. Garlett.
What are you thinking?
Brown just through the interchange gates immediately came on and frisked Garlett.
I reckon that little bit of a brain fart. I'm not sure if he thought it was a handball receive or a mark, but it was obviously going to be 50 here.
Mark's right here, yep.
Gee, I reckon it was a tough call earlier on against the Eagles. Here's Garlett. Will kick from 35. Another young West Australian, and he's way off the target.
Back in the team tonight. His first season, just 19 years of age, but the Blues lead it by 5.5 goals, closing in on half time. Hunter on the up to Marston. Marston at half-back. Well, it's a poor kick, really. I didn't have a whole lot to go to, but they might get away with this. Lacroix. So Lacroix, who's a very good kick for goal. This would test him.
He's not looking confident. He hasn't had one look at the goals yet.
You look around the Eagles forward line, and I must admit, Lacroix's the only one who looks dangerous down there at this point.
He's kicked 14 goals, 2 from set shots this year. Now, this is a tough one.
And this option has come because he's got nothing else to go to. But the best percentage for him is actually to have a shot.
This will test his percentage from set shots. He's kicked it pretty well, but it's going to be belted over the line for a behind. So they've dried up, haven't they?
That's a better alternative than trying to kick the ball across ground and turning it over and getting it run down the other way. But he has been accurate. You wouldn't mind your goal kickers to have those shots when they get them.
John Worsfold was an assistant coach at Carlton under Dennis Pagan, or rather David Parkin. Here's Judd. Drives it to midfield. Garlett. It needs to get there quickly. Well done, young man. Stood his ground. Now he's away. For Bowler in front was held. Takes the mark anyway. That was terrific by Garlett.
Now this one I reckon he might kick. 50-metre mark straight in front. He's kicked a couple now. All of a sudden he can kick through the footy.
This was a good effort. He nearly ran under the ball then, but he did what you wanted him to do. Held his ground. Mitch Brown possibly should have made body contact there instead of trying to spoil the ball clean. Just had to make some contact.
And I reckon Shannon Hearn would have big boots. Garlett would have heard him coming like a British policeman. Here's Favola. And he's tugged it left. Behind. Stretches the lead. Out to 34 now.
So 2 goals 4 tonight. 1 goal 4 from set shots. It's elusive, that accurate kick for him at the moment. Cox did well.
They had prior opportunity,
I suppose, but he's got to tackle him still, surely.
Marston went into an interesting move there. Brown, Selwood, a bit slow. Gibbs sets himself. Good mark, Eben. A couple of South Aussies together. They'll be pleased with that. Swift inboard to Ebert. Running hard, Rosa, but again under pressure. Rosa hooking back to centre half forward. Thornton leading Kennedy too easily. Taps to Armfield. Takes a bounce. Handball over the top. Gibbs probably should have left it for Cruiser. Brown tackled quickly by Selwood. And then Judd comes in and cleans up the mess with a lovely little kick to Fisher, who goes bang with a long one to full forward. Fev almost. And through for behind.
He's been almost all night, but his effort has been consistent. He's had plenty of opportunities, but he's having a real crack. When the ball's in his area to defend, he has a go, and he's getting his hands on the ball in the marking situations.
Into the occur, but it came unstuck. Simpson, Stevens, backpedals out of trouble and then spears the ball to Russell. Russell plays on, not sure about that, goes to Gibbs, bounces off the chest of Fisher. Fisher could have been taken high, battles on after the football. Selwood comes in and he gets the second of them high.
Had his head down, picking the football up. He's entitled to pick the football up.
How do I tackle? Watch this.
I'm not watching the screen.
How else do you go?
He's entitled to have his head down and pick the footy up. It's different to putting your head back down.
What am I meant to do?
Not tackle high.
I think the first one was there for Fisher, as they argue.
I mean, I think all that Adam Selwood can do is just not go forward. I mean, you're in a no man's land when the head is coming into your stomach, but you just got to hold your own ground.
Fisher on target. That's been a criticism. Certainly not tonight.
Well, perhaps he's only, I mean, he was coming in hard to make the tackle, and Fisher actually, popped up out of this contest with his head towards Selwood. It's just one of those situations where there's really probably not a lot that Selwood can do, but it's a clear free kick.
As soon as your forward momentum goes into the upper body, the umpire's just going to blow the whistle.
So a couple of goals to Fisher. Remember, Houlihan's got 2 as well. They're 2 of their inclusions. Fev with 2, and it's been all the Blues in the second term. They've done all the scoring. West Coast stuck on 3 goals.
Holding Daniel Kerr! Holding Daniel Kerr! Daniel Kerr! Arms around him!
Can they get a late goal as they did at quarter time? It'll be very late again if they do. They'll get one chance, you think. Little one to Ebert from Rosa, and then Ebert comes across the ground. They've got to take the mark. They didn't. So a disappointing quarter for the Eagles. The Blues were good. A lot of feeling in this match. West Coast had a free kick before the ball was bounced. A couple of blokes were flattened in the centre square. And at half-time, as Bryce Gibbs has a bit to say to the ump there, that's interesting. 64-23 on Friday night footy.
Start of the second half. We pick it up where we left off.
Correct.
Eagles need to find some goals. Cox and Cruiser. Cox hooks it down behind. Selwood off balance, still going. Too hot for Embley, who gets it now. He's been quiet. The high ball only goes about 20 metres, and the free kick will go to Houlihan. Recalled and good. Bauer, missed by Brown. Ebert gets back. Ebert left it behind. Ebert just lacking a bit of acceleration at the moment. Betts got it from Simpson. Bauer. Joseph. Now Murphy. Nothing much on. Probably has to bring it back. Houlihan, who started all of this. Not his best kick, but a clever mark is taken by Armfield. Armfield on the wing. I mentioned earlier, part of the Chris Judd trade. Carlton got pick 46 in the 2007 draft. And he's the man they took. Knocked down by Fisher, taken by Robinson. Centering kick. Good strength from Glass. Gathers it, comes full-chested. Selwood to Cox.
And Cox looks up and he sees McKinley. It's had a quiet night. He's in the back half. So he strides away with the bounce. Another terrible kick. Must drive John Worsfold mad.
He didn't have real good options in front of him. Then Selwood and Lacroix got mixed up and they ended up running to the same spot.
Still doesn't mean you kick it straight to Jamison.
No, I think he thought someone was going to go over the top, but it was well defended by Stevens as well.
So Cruiser, that centre wing, goes to Favola. Hearn comes from the front. There were 3 against Betts with Nikoski, and then Fisher just shoved out of it by Hearn. And Favola put the elbow up, but no real malice. Was only half-hearted, I think. Cox to Embley, who brushes off Cruiser, and then the little kick down the line. Terrific by Stevens. Well done by Cruiser. Back inboard. Gibbs to Murphy to fall forward. Favola and Glass. Terrific contest. Kerr getting back. Fev gives a free kick away. No. But West Coast to get it. Rosa under the pump. And I think he'll find the boundary line. He does.
Interesting on the outer side wing there. Those 3 number 1s we saw at half-time went 1 to 1 to 1.
Well, I reckon he's lucky that didn't make contact.
Bad timing, sometimes a fortune.
Cruiser stumbles forward. Kerr almost tackled before he got it. Stenglein been ineffective tonight. Judd takes him down. No prior opportunity.
Are you serious? He had plenty of prior opportunity.
I was just saying what the umpire was saying.
Okay.
How would you know? Kerr. We're Punda.
Daniel Kerr.
And Kerr picks himself up very gingerly.
Out, David, take him
Joseph
out,
working him over.
Cheers, mate.
Kerr in the back pocket.
He's got to 8 tackles, Joseph.
Most of them on Kerr. And they're punishing driving tackles as well. Cox. Short. Embley. Embley along the boundary. Coming on the lead, Kennedy. Slow, laborious build-up. Drops it over the top. Now a chance. And this guy doesn't mind running at them. Brown.
Kicks inside the 50. Lynch. Lacroix will give it. Just too hot for Hunter. And the Blues get it out to Judd. And Judd away with a bounce. Streaming through the corridor now. Loads up. gives Feather half a chance. He ran it well for Vola. Slipped glass. He's kicked two. It sits up. Oh, he didn't have to hurry it. It's a goal. Never does things easily, does he? He's got three.
Sometimes there's something for just doing the simple and running in and kicking a flat drop punt from 15 metres out, but just the ability of Judd to just carry the ball through the back of the centre square, and then once Glass ran under the ball, he certainly was able to turn him for Vola. But it was interesting in the end. I mean, he hasn't got the eyes in the back of it. He doesn't know who's behind him, but
one-handed pickup
the ball
as well
across the body.
10-10, 3-5.
There was even a bit of flair in the easiest of goals.
Well, I think he and Robbo and a couple of others in the competition went to the same school. I think it was the school Ronnie Burns opened after he retired. Taken by Stenglein. Scrambles it down towards half forward. Selwood, Rosa, that's better. Good looking kick too. Good fist came from Austin. Ball spills in front. Diving over at Jamison. Going after it, Lacroix reels it in. Needs to be careful now. Came back to him almost involuntarily. Then he almost got dacked. The man's got a right to be upset.
Well, the numbers around that contest, there's only 5 pairs that aren't there.
High, Lacroix kick. You weren't watching the footy. Got him high. You weren't watching the footy either. No, Adam, go away. Got to keep your eye on the footy as well.
It's a lot of bodies to look around, isn't it, by the umpire to see what's going on in there. There's blocking going on. Scragging. Saw that one.
That was friendly scragging.
West Coast has only kicked 3 goals, and 2 of them have come from free kicks tonight. You think Lacroix might make it 3 out of 4. We talked about his set shots. He was actually struggling on the snaps before tonight. He snapped his goal in the first half. Was at this end of the ground. So 14 goals through from set shots this year, straight through. West Coast get their 4th. He gets his 2nd, Lacroix.
You have those defensive stoppages and there's so many bodies around, it's going to be very hard to make anything about it offensively, but of course the free kicks off the ball there, they just all got tangled.
It's like a conga line. Mark Lacroix, 22 goals for the season. He got 6 in round 1 against the Lions, 23 last season after 36 in 2007. Etihad Stadium on a Friday night, cold outside, nice in here. One down by Cruiser. Judd likes it in there as well. Murphy back to Cruiser. Kicks inside the forward 50. Hearn got a fist on it. Brown cleverly. Judd goes wide. Bet set a task there. Needs it on the ground. That should be good enough. Coming after the footy, Nikoski. Tackled by Murphy. This is McKenzie. Goes back to Hearn. Hearn drives to the outer side. Now a chance for the Eagles. Rose is away. Has one bounce. Runs up to the wing. Chips it. Cox has taken it. Good block there from Selwood, the little Selwood. That's Scott Selwood. And the mark is taken by Lacroix. And don't count him out from here. He's a sharpshooter.
He's a dangerous player, isn't he? Probably gifted that goal from the stoppage and a free kick, but his movement's very good. He's very fit. He could probably have a midfield role if the West Coast could afford him out of this area, but he's been so dominant. He's kicked 22 goals to this point, 20 coming in, and he's looking the most dangerous Eagle forward of the ball again tonight.
Normally has exquisite skills, and he comes, and that's beautiful. That is from the top shelf.
He's not completely. I mean, he hasn't got the same physique as Paul Please. He's about the same height, though.
It's a bit of a Paul Medhurst before Medhurst went into the middle of the ground. Very good. It was a very good subtle block in this part of the ground, just by the 2 players working together. They might have just... But Lynch went one direction, Lacroix went the other. At least when you got Lynch and Lacroix on the full forward line, there's two potentially dangerous targets.
First time they found targets for a while too. 3 in a row.
Well, tonight is part of Matthew Cruz's education. He's up against the best big man in the competition, Cox. He's probably been shaded in the taps, but generally around the ground. Cruz had 9 possessions, Cox has had 11, and he's been working as hard as he possibly can to keep with him around the ground. So it's a really good, important part of his education.
Thanks, guys. Straight up.
First time the Eagles have had consecutive goals tonight. That scoreline at halftime was similar to what happened in Perth last year when Judd went home, and West Coast had a good third quarter there. They kicked 6 goals to 2 to give themselves a sniff, and then Carlton went away from them.
He's been All-Australian ruckman all-out for 4 years now, Dean Cox. I'm just not quite sure he's having that profound an influence on the game for the majority of this year.
Hampson won that tap. It's interestingly because the figures look good, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers are good for him this year, but maybe not quite the same impact. Brown squeezes the kick out wide. Garlett, and with him, Embley.
Holding.
So Jeffrey Garlett's free kick. Buddy Franklin's first cousin, Garlett.
There's not much of him, but he's a very smart ball user. He doesn't mind putting his body on the line either, given that there's not much of it.
Judd's been fantastic in the early stages of the second half.
Thornton having a very good night as well, goes short to Brown. 35 points the difference. It was 41 at half-time. Brown deep to the pocket. Big pack at the drop. Cox got a fist on it. Down goes Swift. Could have been pushed in the back. No free kick. We'll have a ball up in the pocket.
I think that point with Dean Cox, we generally think of him as the ruckman, but then he's a link player for the Eagles through the middle of the ground. You just don't see him being able to be part of that midfield link, which we've come to expect from him.
A lot of checking around the ball. Embley just got out of it. Kerr in desperate trouble. Held to him.
There's not a lot of flowing play from their midfield anyway.
That's true. And I think the opposition ruckmen are they're sort of double teaming Cox, trying to make sure that they really defend him really well with the Eagles have the ball.
Cox got his hands on it. Gibbs overran it. McNamara's handball. Selwood slow, but he did get the kick away. As his brother, who slipped the tackle really well and then gets it back to Troy. Kick into the centre was poor. Hunter terrific to Marston. They need a good kick. Lacroix and Bauer. Bauer in a good spot there. Hampson. He's a likely type, I reckon. To Stevens. Back inboard to Bauer. Sloppy handball. Brown had to wait. Stevens, little give back to Bauer. Your goal here for the Eagles might liven it up, I reckon. Simpson. He's used it well to Armfield, who can run on here. He's got Russell on his own. Now Russell might go over the top. He should have handballed.
Had to go left foot.
Got to make something of this.
Well, that's terrible handball really by Ebert, though. It was too slow to Embley. And now Gibbs.
Back to Simpson. They'll reload. Houlihan had a golden opportunity moments ago. Garlett. Russell certainly has his critics at Carlton. You can see why with that last one. Oh, good. Very good by Cruiser.
It's what you've got to be able to do to supplement your height, isn't it? Just in that genuine contest, the real strong hands under pressure. And Cruiser, as a young, tall, seems to have that very early on, when mostly it takes a few years.
It's a very strong grab.
Yeah. In every sense of mark. The hands latching onto the ball. Vice-like comes in, misses. Let off for the Eagles. Unlike Bruce, if the Eagles can get the next couple of goals, they're back in it. And Carlton squandering chances to sew it up.
So Hearn gets it back. He's able to get around. Garlett and then kick to where a point. It was a good kick, actually. It had to be perfect. It had to be centimetre perfect. It was.
Hey.
McNamara to fall forward. Lacroix, he's got his hands on him.
He's good overhead.
I saw him play a little bit midfield in the NAB Cup, and he's very good around clearances. He's got a low centre of gravity, and he was able to get first hands on the ball in those at that time of the year and in those clearance situations. But when you're this good in the air and when you get the ball in hands, you're that good at finishing, you're invaluable. He kicked 6 goals in the first round, and really it's pretty hard to move him after that, isn't it?
Look, he does play a similar role to Paul Pleasure, I reckon, of the Crows, who could also go into the mid.
Yep.
He too is an accurate kick for goal. So an important shot. It's a goal. He's kicked 3 in this quarter, and West Coast are closing the gap.
They also had the right play with ball in hands off halfback. Shannon Hearn was prepared to hang on to the footy across halfback, and he was able to just deliver the long 50-metre pass to get it over the top of the Carlton sort of zone. And Ruapunda at least set it up to give Lacroix a jump at it. When he's got a jump at it, he must be, 185 centimetres maybe, but he can certainly get great upward extension when he leaps.
Certainly an amazing game. Lacroix gets the goal, pulls it back to 30. Cruiser kicks the goal at the other end moments before. Carlton cruising. 41 points would have been the margin. And now some little tremors going on, I would think, in the Carlton box at the moment. Marston over the football. Lays it off. McCoskey back to Marston. Stengline, not the best kick in the world. How will it bounce? Well, missed by Ruapunda. Armfield stood up in a tackle. Simpson slips it away. Brown. Judd wants the ball. Demands the ball. Goes to Houlihan. Houlihan runs beyond the wing. Looks towards the middle. Hampson. That's a beautiful kick. Just talking about those tremors, Joseph would be the man, I would think, who would go back and mark up on Lacroix. Favola's got it now, but of course Joseph doing a wonderful job on Kerr. Favola, not so wonderful. Kicks it out of bounds on the full.
He's pulling most of his kicks left.
Yep.
If he is missing, I mean, that was a long shot, but certainly Houlihan's ability to think his way through, be prepared to come back inside, set up the Hampson mark.
So Marston's kick along the wing. Lynch bravely went in, Hampson over the top, and then Brown wrestles it away. That was terrific. Murphy from Simpson. Now Murphy's got a bit of time here. One bounce inside. Judd gone. Yep. Well, Lynch has to take the mark for the advantage to be of any use. And again, a sloppy kick for West Coast. Stengline having a little victory there over Judd, who's been very prominent. Armfield gets from Brown. Houlihan, such a beautiful user.
Oh. It's a good mark as well.
It was.
Makes it, the kick mark combination looked pretty specky.
The Irishman did a jig there and then coughed it up, and really Glass should have taken the mark. And then McCoskey, last man standing in the end, had to belt it away. Robinson chasing hard. With him is Russell.
Russell under pressure. Houlihan threads it nicely back to Robinson. Steps around Rosa. Tumbles a kick down towards the pocket, and the mark is taken by Garlett.
And I reckon the reason that he was able to take that, he was one of the few players in that area that kept his eyes on the ball. It came in quickly, it tumbled forward, kept his eyes on it, and was able to take the nice mark.
Carlton tonight 5-7 from set shots. The West Coast 5-1. Can Garlett improve those stats? You bet he can. Straight through the middle.
He's a quality ball user, Ryan Houlihan, isn't he? Whenever he gets the ball with a yard of space, I think the forwards' eyes would light up. This was really just the hurried kick back in. And as should happen in these situations, the forward should be able to watch the footy when the Eagles defenders are not sure whether to go with the ball or find opponents. And really, Garlett was the one that was able to watch the ball into his hands.
He's brave, Garlett. Second time tonight. He's had to stand under the ball a couple of times tonight, Garlett.
Yeah, very smart player. I mean, you can just see the way he moves around the field. You're keeping your eye on a tumbling kick coming in. Sounds like it's simple, but the smart players do the simple things well.
So he played in the first 3 games and now back in the team. He's on the rookie list. Cox. McNamara tried to toe poke it. Gibbs held up well.
Too high. Gibbs kick. Get away. Gibbs,
So Marston in the front and McNamara at the back. They messed it up with the tackle too high. Simpson to Murphy. So Carlton get that steadier. It's a big margin on the board, but you just felt the momentum had switched a bit. Austin's handball wide to Bauer. And then Bauer down the line. Houlihan being held on to by Swift. And then Hearn, Embley. Oh, terrific stuff again by Garlett. Having a lovely minute or two. Well done, Marston. Back to Hunter. Then Hunter to Swift. Back to Hunter. And West Coast trying to remount a challenge here. Embley, careful kick was okay.
Rose has got it on the outer side. Always finds a lot of the footy. 17 possessions. Hearn, the team's longest kick. He and Lynch at least would dispute that as the ball goes out towards the boundary. Down goes Kerr again. Kennedy, Rosa, Kerr to his feet, goes cruising past, doesn't get it back. Kennedy too long. Russell took him down holding the ball. Thornton been so good to Hampson, to Gibbs through midfield. Carlton build again. Well, slowing up was Garlett. Coming through was Hearn. Missed it, waiting behind Hunter. Little 1-2 with Hearn. Comes across to Brown. Brown on the back end of the square to half forward. Armfield backed himself against the footy. Don't know he needed to do that. Now a free kick goes to Selwood for a push in the back. Brown on the 50. Way off target. Didn't look. Going back. Bauer must get a free kick.
Well, they had a couple of chances at West Coast, didn't they?
Yeah, it was a snapshot of their night from a kicking perspective. Mitch Brown had the ball twice, kicked it away, had a lead coming out of centre half forward, and then again had Lacroix probably 10 or 15 metres free, but decided to have a shot and missed that by quite a bit also.
I think he was pretty fatigued when he got on the end of the handball. He just wanted to run in 5 moves and kick it.
And so Murphy down the line to Robinson. Well, forced to kick that sort of a ball, which was nothing in the end. Selwood. So his left foot to centre half forward.
Oh.
And Austin very good, but put Thornton under the pump there, and then Brown courageously, but well done by Joseph. Lacroix terrific, and then Bauer running it over the line. So a few mistakes here from both teams, and Carlton conceded behind.
Austin showed some courage though to take the mark, but then a rush of blood.
Well, I mean, I think we commented how tough and hard this was, particularly in the first 15 or 20 minutes. They certainly were barreling into each other, so the fatigue might just set in a little earlier tonight than usual.
Murphy has been terrific. 22 possessions now. Across to Stevens, his 21st. Well, he hasn't had it yet. Hand passes. Under pressure, Jamison trying to wrench the footy away. Held a long time by Ebert. Coming through was Kerr. Fell over. Jamison clears the zone. Floats it back towards the wing. Off hands. O'Halpin. Judd. Now Robinson takes something off the kick. Good talking. Cruiser.
It wasn't easy, Mark, that one when he came back with a flight of the ball, open chest. That does take some courage.
O'Halpin. Judd. Confronted by Stenglein. Across the body with a high ball. Garlett will need to go. Bumped out of the contest. Mark taken by Lynch. Play-on's the call. Oh, terrible kick. Now they're in real trouble. It's 2-on-1. Well, a fumble initially by Garlett. Socket off the ground by Betts. Lynch going back. How will it bounce? Met solidly by Favola. Well done, Betts. Lynch in desperate trouble. Hand passes across the goal front, and Hearn takes it over.
So Cox gets it from the resultant point. Again, Lynch, when he tries a half kick, it doesn't work, does it? It's all or nothing.
Requires finesse.
Yep. Weirpunda, who's good at that. Finessing. Embley got it from Cox. 2 of their 9 premiership players from 06 out there tonight.
Yes, that point with Lynch is a long kick. Hearn's a good kick.
So Lynch took the handball, but he was in trouble. And there's the 10th premiership player. The odd man out tonight, but nothing odd about this fella. If there was, you'd know about it, Dennis. Here's Bauer.
Turn it up. Goes out wide. Mark is taken by Simpson. Judd's been much better tonight, and the longer it's gone, the better he's got. Looked out of sorts last week. He's up to 20 possessions now. In his first half dozen tonight. Not memorable. Here's Simpson striding around the outer side. O'Halpin will need to go here. Gathers the bouncing footy just inside the 50. Backs off now. Sweeping hand pass out wide. Fisher going to ground. Gets a hand pass away. Embley. Kerr with dash. Comes up towards midfield. Lynch. Stenglein. Well, he didn't need to kick it, but it's okay. McGinley goes long down towards the pocket. And the mark is taken again. No. Lacroix almost. McKinley's kick favoured him. Lacroix doesn't need much of an edge. Kicks a magnificent goal. He's got 5.
That's a fair effort.
That was a great ball control. He did all the right things. He looked inside to see if he could
Straight up off his
put
feet
it up.
here too.
Got the quick. No one on. That's great ball control.
That is a great goal. And how dominant has he been? 4 third-quarter goals. The target up forward for the Eagles that's really doing a lot of damage.
He's kicked 5 of their 7 goals, Lacroix.
Yeah.
4 in this quarter. Their whole 4 goals. So within 5 again.
They've rotated about 3 players on him. It's been Austin and Jamison and Bauer yet to find the right matchup to quell him.
Kerr did well, but McNamara just couldn't get much on the kick. Though McKinley did very well there. Rather, it was Kennedy against Gibbs to Marston. Marston's kick to the pocket. And that was McKinley down there. So West Coast pressing, another goal here. And I reckon they'll be well pleased with this third quarter. Give them something to go into the break. That needs a good bounce from Cox. Scrambling through for a behind.
(11, 12, 7, 7) approaching three-quarter time. Gibbs spears one in. Simpson's got it.
Change of last Friday night a bit, isn't it? That Ackermann's a small full forward was troubled Geelong at last week, and that's happening tonight. So Lacroix is getting the Eagles back into it.
Thornton very wide, chips along the line. Murphy inside the last minute of the term. Murphy comes back to Bauer. Bauer across the ground is Simpson. Now he can run it up. Nobody near him. Simpson bypasses the short lead. Getting a hand to it, Stevens. Plenty of Eagles around the footy now. Ebert, Marston, the Eagles come again. Right half forward. Embley under the football. Thornton gave a fist. Just as well. Fell to Simpson. Short one to Jamison. Jamison goes back to the square. Now they've got a chance to build in the last 20 seconds around the outer side. Austin is running. Well, I think they've called the jam off. If we were talking about the old roller game. Gibbs could have run harder and really presented as an extra man. He decided against it. Murphy's got the football now, and the moment is past. Murphy just jabs it along the line again. Brown's got it. Wait for the siren. Three-quarter time, and the Eagles giving a yelp in that term. Not gone yet. It's under 30 points. 29 points the margin. Carlton 11-12. West Coast 7-7. This is Friday Night Football. Opening bounce, final term. Friday Night Football. Rucks go at it. Judd won it wide. Spills out towards the outer side wing on the rebound. Arriving quickly, Scott Selwood lays it off to his brother. Adam Selwood drives it up towards right half forward. Cruises in front, hands to it. Couldn't hang on. Weapunda juggles it brilliantly. Well done, Armfield. Run him down. Close to the boundary line. Stenglein takes it out. Met solidly by Stevens.
Important contest then by McKinley, wasn't it? It was a 2-on-1, but at least he attacked the ball in the air and didn't enable the ball to come to ground, have a second chance at it.
They wrap each other up, Cruiser and Cox, and then Weapunda inadvertently off the ground. They ended up with another throw-in.
Talking about clearances, West Coast are up 25-18, and Chris Judd's partner there, watching on and enjoying what her fella is doing.
He's played well.
Advantage.
So here he is, Judd with the advantage, a second running bounce, and then the kick to Favola. Glass wrapped him up, Garland off the ground. It's going through. Did it touch the post? I think it might have touched the post.
Definitely come off Carlton. Did it hit the post? No, it was a goal. It wasn't. Hit the post. Hit the post. Go away for a minute, please. Go away for a minute, please.
Initially, I of course saw it bounce, but I reckon that was the ball that bounced. I'm going to pay the goal.
Okay, it's all clear. Yep, all clear.
There it is, it's a goal. It was like a long-playing album, wasn't it?
What was the goal umpire saying there? He saw it bounce.
I think it was the ball, bounced at the last moment.
Off the post,
but it was
or
a
if it
bounce.
was off the...
Not sure.
Well, it looks like it might have hit the
I
post.
think so.
Yeah, it does.
That's a point. That's a bit of blow for the Eagles. That hit the post.
Got to trust your initial judgment. Eddie Betts didn't see it hit the post.
There has been a report too. Mitch Robinson has been reported for rough conduct against Adam Selwood. An incident just before three-quarter time as both players were coming off the ground. Now, the report was laid by one of the emergency umpires.
I think we need some post analysis as well, because it did seem that ball did strike the post. More about that in a moment. Cox goes up, knocks it down. Kerr emerges with it. Cruiser got him. Ebert has a bounce, runs down towards half forward, goes to Cox, 52 metres out. Is this the quick reply? No. Right on the line, Bauer gets his fingertips to it. Just talking about posters, the Western Bulldogs have got 19 for the season, Geelong 17, West Coast had 15 before that last one, although it won't be credited. 7 to the left, 8 to the right. Don't say we don't research.
Nick, kick in, please.
Stevens to bring it in.
That's deep and meaningful, isn't it?
It's not bad, is it?
Doesn't mean a thing.
Do you think I made it up?
No, I just think it was a nice thing to say.
Not sure it was that.
She talking about centimetre perfect. Good grab by Cruiser almost. The last minute or so, an inch or two either way or a centimetre either way has made a big difference, hasn't it? With a touch on the line a moment ago, and then the ball seemingly hitting the post but being given a goal down the other end. Well done, Kerr. Can Wirrapinda kick the goal? You betcha.
Oh.
Well done. Still a bit of a pulse here. Fighting hard.
And really that pressured hand pass by Kerr. We spoke a little bit about sometimes you think Kerr looks just a bit hot in his aggression, but I think he's been under enormous pressure tonight. But as the game's gone on, he's just maintained his focus on the ball. Every time he gets the ball, Joseph is half a step away, but he still keeps forcing himself to the ball. But he has to hand pass a lot.
I reckon Joseph's been half a step away when he hasn't got the ball.
Yeah.
Still tackling him half the time.
Goal for goal to start this final term. 84 plays 56. Sort of game where it could break open at any moment. West Coast Eagles still not done with. Cruiser goes up, knocks it down. Embley out of the middle, floats it inside the forward 50. McKinley was up off hands. Wirrapinda plays it to his own advantage, still going. Wirrapinda in the pocket, taken down by Armfield, finding a way through and going with the outside of the boot. Kennedy miscues across the face. Simpson, who's been good, runs down Rosa, almost wonderful balance. Rosa on one knee. Hand pass was erratic though. On the ground, Bauer. Kerr arches the back, finds a way through. No, he does not. His nemesis was waiting. Joseph took him down and relished the opportunity.
It's a great one-on-one battle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's symbolic of their clash tonight, wasn't it?
Well, Kerr's had 21 possessions. I reckon they're all contested ball wins, because Joseph has always been alongside him.
Good mark at the back by Hearn. I don't reckon the ball's moved a lot with those 21, but I'm not saying he hasn't given it to the advantage, but Joseph's been able to restrict him in terms of carrying the ball. Judd, on the other hand, has had some good ball carry tonight. Back to Thornton. So the Blues maintaining their poise. Gibbs at centre wing. Lovely looking kick off the boot, but it's the wrong side for Favola. Glass acrobatically, Hearn a bit slow. Ebert's hands good. Noskoski running hard. Adam Selwood on the up to Cox. Slow. Ebert had it ripped off him by Cruiser, and then Cox had to go in. Back to O'Halpin. O'Halpin back into the centre. Little give by Brown. Judd. Stengline to Gibbs. And Gibbs, lovely kick. Well done. Kept his head.
And one of the things we've witnessed is the last probably quarter and a half that Carlton have become one-dimensional going forward again. And this time Favola got away from Glass, but I reckon West Coast is sweating on that, and they've been able to rebound out of there a lot more often than they did in the first half.
Well, he's kicked a goal in each of the 3 quarters. He's had a lot of misses. The set shots have been a worry, but he gets a 4th. Has he turned the corner a bit tonight?
No, I think he's done okay tonight, Favola. Actually, most of his kicks are going a little bit left of centre, but really it was the Gibbs. Eventually, he got the ball. I think his first thought, Gibbs, will I break the 50-metre mark and have a goal? But as soon as he saw that Favola was making space, the lovely weighted kick made a long shot into really a 20-metre set shot straight in front.
He's got 4 for the night then, after just 2 in the previous 3 weeks. And the margin out to 34 points. Seems a hill too big to climb now.
Bring it back. Out, guys.
Umpire wants it again. Umpire Avon. Runner banished from the centre square. Thrown up now. Cox wins it into the path of Curry. Got an unkind bounce. Judd once more emerges with it. 24 possessions inside the forward 50. Loose ball. Runs across to O'Halpin. O'Halpin sprays it. Just sneaks it in for a behind. 35 points the difference. The margin was 41 at half-time. So the Eagles in the second half certainly have given as good as they've taken. Here's Ebert.
Goes wide. Big fly, big mark. Scott Selwood, well done. Plays on quickly. Hunter on the burst. It's his 150th tonight. He kicked a goal right on quarter time. Brings that back to McKinley. Clever kick. So good build-up. Good transition by the Eagles.
Good early body work by McKinley there. The ability to give himself that couple of yards. But Selwood, very nice leap off. Only a couple of steps. Got the nice ride and took the pluck, but McKinley's body work up forward was very good.
So they've got the chocolates tonight, eh? So he's kicked 8 goals in the last couple of matches, 4 in each of them, and it's not a good kick.
Switching the Selwood brothers, there's 4 of them, and 3 of them are already established league footballers, but I don't think I've seen any of them jump on a pack, so maybe Scott Selwood has got something on his 3 older brothers.
He got the jumping gene.
I reckon if Joel Selwood's listening, he's at home practicing. He doesn't want any of those boys to have anything on him.
Who was the Carlton bloke camped in front? No one knows. Oh. They unceremoniously jumped over the top, close to the boundary line, coming through McKinley. Swift.
Never asked a question I don't know the answer to.
Should know that, shouldn't I? Swift along the boundary, knocked out of bounds by Brown. Might need a replay just to refresh our minds.
You've forgotten everything since 1985, you reckon?
That's right, and that mark was in the last 10 minutes. What chance have I got? Behind, Brown. Selwood was in there, so too Kerr. Tries to fight his way out. Advantage paid to Carlton. Judd gave it across to support. Simpson back to Judd. Judd 70 metres out for Bowler. Isn't he putting his stamp on the game now?
He's given them the target, and he's had the right blokes upfield. When Judd gets the ball left or right foot, he can normally put it to his forwards advantage. So it becomes pretty. It doesn't matter how good the fullback is.
Going to number 5, 35 metres out. he's got it. I think he's all the way back.
Just been able to break away from glass further and further as the game's gone on. You see once again Daniel Kerr with the ball, but tackled and pressured and hassled out of it.
It's been terrific, Judd, hasn't he?
And once again, Judd.
Sort of last quarter that might get him the 3 Brownlow votes, Judd. So 2 forwards have kicked 5 goals tonight. Leclerc at one end and now Feather the other.
And Judd's got his 26 possessions, which is good, but it's his ball carry. That's his great strength.
8 inside 50s, nearly double the next. Bryce Gibbs with 5, no one else above 4.
You can get a 3 vote on the Brownlow, Judd, can't he?
Knows how to.
So another great performance by him, and the Blues safe now. It's just whether or not they can stay brave, the Eagles. That's what John Worsfold said at half-time to Tim.
I thought he took possession, as soon as he took
Want them to keep taking a chance and play strong. So 40 points the margin. We're basically back to where we were at the long break. Important, you'd reckon, for the Eagles, they don't fall away. Rose's high kick to fall for. Good grab, Kennedy.
He's a big body. When he gets front posse, he's pretty hard to get past. He's got the long arms, got a pretty good leap. On this occasion, we saw a nice knockout. Rosa left forward of the contest. Quick kick to the top of the goal square. It's a nice pluck.
Take your man right.
He's interesting, isn't he? In that at the moment he does look very one-dimensional. So he's got to do that very well, what he just did. Missed a goal from a set shot after kicking a goal in the opening term. Is that coming back? It is. It looked a bit rough off the boot, but he's got a second.
Yes, we've got to be so careful not to judge those young key position players too. I mean, he's in his 4th year, and at the moment he's just showing glimpses. Tom Hawkins at Geelong's another example in their 3rd year. They're showing glimpses, but again, they're one-dimensional. When they can get a fair jump at the ball from the front position, they look okay, but that's about how they get it.
Josh Kennedy gets a belated goal. Asking you shall receive. In front Brown, who thought he was out of the woods, but he didn't realise there were 2 Selwoods. There was Scott flying over the top. Rolls down the back of Hampson.
You've got some pull.
Little 1-2-3. Russell comes away after that was initiated by Stevens. Long kick downwards, full forward, hands in the back. Apparently not. Yes.
No, I saw that too, Dan. He was lucky to get away with that. No doubt if he was a defender, it would have been a free kick.
Well, umpire Avon was 15 metres away to the side. You may even see him in the picture here as we swing down. Can't quite. Where is he? Still can't see him. Even Fisher looked quite guilty, didn't he, as he looked towards umpire Avon. The umpire said nothing. Fisher comes in and kicks his 3rd.
We'll probably get someone to get another shot of that so that we can see the umpire in the foreground for you, Den. But the Carlton have just been able to run away with the clearances, really, in the last 5 minutes. They've been able to get out forward of the contest. It was Judd on the last occasion going to Favola. This time, Russell was able to get it long, and Fisher, with a little bit of a help into Hearn's back, his ability to take the grab and kick the goal.
So 3 to Fisher, and the Blues over 100 points as they've been in all their Melbourne games so far this year. It's when they've been on the road that they've struggled. I think they've been averaging 120 points a match in Melbourne and 70 away from home. Well done, Kerr and McNamara. And Selwood punches forward. McKinley came out of the pack, and then Thornton belted it back. And Selwood did very well in the front. Murphy been terrific. Russell to Simpson. Austin Shepherd was effective. Robinson did very well down low. Murphy, footy just got away from him. And then Hunter back to Lynch. Lynch flat with a long handball. Brown's handball to Selwood. Puts McNamara under the punt. Well done, Stevens. Back to Houlihan. And now the Blues with Simpson arching the back. Well done, Stevens to Robinson. Robinson's low kick, sort of nothing kick in the end. Rolling towards the line, and good shepherding allows Glass to get it to Swift. He swiftly gets it back to his captain.
Glass feeds it forward then. Lynch to Hunter in game number 150. Terrific servant of the West Coast Eagles. Hunter, or rather Kennedy, had the chance to mark from the Hunter kick. Dragged down McNamara, and then in turn Embley. The umpire lets them play. Close to the boundary line, Russell had it momentarily. Marston gets it from Cox, goes inside the forward 50, and guess who? Well, he's beaten about 3 of them tonight.
Showed some good pace there.
He'll be lining up for number 6, Mark Lacroix. And really, I think this is the Achilles heel of Carlton, their defence. It has been less than stellar again tonight, despite the fact West Coast may finish with around 10 goals. But unless they get the numbers back, they look very brittle. Mark Lacroix, study and concentration, the perfect technique, and he puts it right through the middle. He's got 6, equals his career high.
Six tonight. He kicked 6 in round 1. It's his first game against the Blues tonight.
It's excellent efficiency. He's had 8 kicks, kicked 6 goals. Only taken 4 marks, but he just looked certainly clearly the forward 50 player from the Eagles that looks the most likely.
He's done it in all manners, hasn't he? He's been able to get the marks out on the lead. This time on the chest, he's taken a few marks in contested situations up top. He kicked that snap around the body over his left shoulder. He's done it all.
Well, it's more than a cameo, isn't it? 6 goals, 6 in the opening round, so equals his best. Would you have him in your top 4 guys? I mean, he's kicked 6 goals. Blues have dominated the game. You're nodding, Lee.
I think so. I think effectiveness of his game in the role that he's been playing.
So Murphy, who's probably going to figure in a few top 4s as well. Garlett's kick inside, and Robinson. He's had a good first season, Robinson. We saw him in the NAB Cup, made an instant impact. Garlett's done some good things, couple of goals, clever kick. And can Robinson finish it off? So one 19-year-old from out west to another 19-year-old from down south in Tassie. It's a shocking kick. And Embley picks it off.
Well, that's what happens when you're at the edge of your range and you try for that little bit of extra distance. Generally, the ball gets tugged left, but on that occasion, just didn't get onto it at all.
Robinson anxious to make amends. Finds the ball on the ground after flying high to Cruiser. The old 7-point play, perhaps. No, he misses.
He gives them so much life down there, Robinson. He lost his place there for a couple of weeks, and maybe they just thought, young player, you know, you just got to really ease them into it. So it might have been 4, might have been just to let him regenerate before they drew him back at senior level.
Oh, McNamara overcommitted there. Selwood was behind him. Eventually Murphy finishes up with it. Intended for Favola. Betts attracted a crowd. They stayed off Favola. Well done by McNamara. Got back and forced the error. And that ball goes out of bounds on the full.
So 5 goals to Favola tonight. 4 behinds and 1 out of bounds. Adam Selwood. So he goes down the line. Carlton with all the numbers. Cruiser couldn't take the mark. Brown couldn't take the footing. Then Cruiser to Murphy. Murphy, nice kick off the boot. Garlett running into some good form here. And quickly on. And Fisher. Well, he was in the wilderness for a while this year, Fisher, but 3 goals tonight. He's staked his claim, hasn't he? And this would be a terrific return if he could pop this through from a tight angle on the 50.
Gee.
Not quite going to get there, but the other bloke. Their full forward takes a very strong mark.
And I think just at the moment, Darren Glass is saying to himself, don't trust a ruckman to defend my opponent.
So Fev's going to match Lacroix and kick goal number 6. Getting better as the match goes on.
We'll probably see a replay of this contest, and basically Glass allowed Cox to try and contest the mark, but he let for Bowler go, and just when for Bowler had the leap, just judged it better than Cox.
Same thing happened last week at Subiaco with Anthony a couple of times when Glass stayed down.
Great mark, but you don't want to see your ruckman not make contact with that ball. It needed to be, that contest needed to be killed. The ball needed to be out of the area.
Fev's got 6-4 tonight, and the lead is 6-5. Probably not a point lost on Fev. Selwood was over the ball. Garlett, he's been very enterprising. Gibbs comes out to Judd, just racking them up now. Judd sends it long. Favola camped in front, hands to it. Couldn't hang on, but had 3 men in the air against him. As a result, Carlton have got the numbers on the ground. Houlihan found a way through, but the kick is off target. Marston will be very anxious to bring it back in to himself. Realised the numbers were flooding to the outer side. Here's Rosa. Just up from the back pocket. So the West Coast Eagles with more soul searching to do as Rosa goes around the outer side. Hands in the back again. No free. Now what? Holding the man.
So Lynch with it to Kennedy. And Kennedy did well. He worked O'Halpin underneath it, and then from 45 metres hits a post.
Is it just me, Lee, or have the rules become like Oprah's weight? I mean, they just keep changing.
I think there's certainly been a lot more contact allowed in recent weeks. To be honest, I quite like the way the game's been umpired the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
they're allowing players to play.
That's fine.
How many posters is that, Dan? Just give us the important information.
I've got that here somewhere, Bucks. No, I can't find it, Bucks. I thought it would have been sort of etched on your memory.
I think they've gone to 6 or 15 now because they didn't count that other one.
Cecil B to Buckley.
So Ebert to Marston, and now Rosa. Neat kick along the line to McKinley. Another thing for the Blues. 4 inclusions tonight, and 3 of them have kicked 7 goals between them. Garlett, Houlihan and Fisher. And O'Halpin's done okay as well. So I reckon Brett Ratton, I know they lost weight, there's a huge loss, but the ins tonight will get a lot of encouragement from them, and that's a pretty good kick off the boot, but again a behind.
Well, I think it's interesting. You know, you've got Kerr and Judd. Judd's had 17 kicks, 10 handballs. Kerr's had 4 kicks, 18 handballs. And that's really what's the difference between the two sides. The Eagles have had 183 handballs, 152 kicks. They've got no one really to carry the footy. They just have to keep handing it off.
After the boundary throw in, Satanta O'Halpin in the opposite direction. Wiaponda Brown did brilliantly, got the ball out. Stevens, Judd fights off a teammate. Back to O'Halpin. Oh, some finesse there. Threads it through. Austin, an emerging player. He's important if their defence is to get better. Murphy to the wing. Betts has got it. The bowler's moving. Shows a lot of the ball to Glass. Umpire lets them play. Hearn gets back and chips it across half back. Nikoski. Nobody stands the mark. Nikoski looking for Kennedy. He's on the wing. McKinley is by himself down at half forward. That's a good kick because it should turn and run him. Well, he hesitated, but still ample time to spot a man in the pocket and Lynch.
Will he take his glove off? He obviously hasn't had a shot at goal. This is the first time tonight I think he's taken his glove off.
Fev's played for a couple tonight, and they haven't been forthcoming, and they've probably been only 5% chances. It doesn't hurt every now and then to show the umpire that you're getting some contact, but a few of them have been quite exaggerated.
So Lynch comes in, and this one's working its way back, not sufficiently, close to the boundary line. And Russell, did he keep it in? No. Well, I suppose with the scoreline as it is, 111-70, I'm not sure that perhaps Lynch shouldn't be dragging a few red herrings across the trail.
That's holding the man. Should be a free kick downfield.
Take the glove off and short pass it. We're a punter dragged down. I was just developing a theory there. It's taken by Gibbs. Back it comes to Murphy. Whoops. Satanta. Jack.
Back turns and then kicks cleverly to Thornton. So the margin is back to where it was at half-time.
It's part of the whole relationship between kicks and handballs. I mean, the whole dream team concept, I think it's about get 3 points for a kick and 1 for a handball. I reckon you get 6 for a kick, 1 for a handball. That's about how much more valuable kicks are than handballs. About 6 to 1.
And Gibbs must have heard you. He's going to handball, decide to kick. To Fisher. He likes to kick it, Fisher. Got close to the man on the mark. Hampson. And then Selwood to Swift. Cut off by Favola. A little Gibbs didn't go the required. Back to Gibbs. Gibbs back to Joseph. Fifth could kick this. Well, he could kick it around. Wow. Look at that.
Oh, good pass. Still in.
It is. Could be an assist. Mackenzie to Embley. You always get something from Fev, don't you? Cox
never miss.
To Rosa. And then Rosa. Kennedy. Well done, Fisher. Back inboard to Russell. To Brown.
Brown about 65 metres out. Sets it up. Hunter goes back. Favola fights a couple. Ball fell in front. Fev pulled a Swifty. Got the hand pass across towards Nikoski. He goes in short and finds Selwood. Selwood a hand pass further afield to McNamara. Hunter. They're working Stevens here. McNamara looks pretty tired too as he goes down towards left half forward. And this kick bounces out of bounds in the pocket.
And it's been West Coast, trouble was their disposal, but my top 4 there. Murphy's been fantastic since being felled early. Chris Judd's been awesome. Mark Lacroix, the goal scorer for West Coast, and Favola, a welcome return to the goal scoring list for the Blues.
They flirted a bit there, the Blues. So they'll jump up to 3rd on the table tonight, Carlton. They've had an interesting season. They looked terrific in a couple of games. Here on a Sunday against the Bulldogs, they look very sharp. But a couple of narrow losses got them into a bit of strife on the scoreboard. Hawthorn and Essendon, but this squares the ledger for them tonight. They were out of the 8 for the first time this year coming into tonight. Lynch's long ball to fall forward, lots flying. We're a punter at the back, can't quite get to it. Thornton outnumbered, and good result for Carlton.
And I reckon he's been fantastic for the Blues as well. He was stiff to miss out on that top 4. Brent Thornton's played in front of his man. He's attacked from half-back. He's been a very good player for the Blues.
Scott Selwood, very lucky there. Hampson digs it out. Ebert needs to accelerate out of that situation. Wiapunda taken down on the 50. Marston just fell on them for good luck. They'll have a ball up. Down to 2 seconds. Umpire will bounce it. It will be all over. The margin will be 41 points, as it was at half-time. A lot of hard work in the second half for no change. Carlton started better, pulled away in that second term, and win on Friday night football. 16-15 to 10-10.
So Carlton up to 5-5 after 10. West Coast at 3-7. Good crowd in, 41 points the margin. The Blues all the way on Friday night.
Against the fans.